In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Rocha and Matt Knost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Top 10 Show. I am John Rocha.
I am Matt Knost. You know what? I think that might be the first time that you had a wrestling type of... You're cutting a promo, and you had hand motions for every. It was punctuated at the end of the Top 10 Show. It was like this scissor hand action. It was pretty nice.
Thank you, man. Well, it's because we recorded the Collider Body Slam podcast earlier today, so I had to come in with all that energy, and I still have the residue, I guess, of sitting in this chair, talking in front of this particular mic, and doing the exact same thing when I was recording. Even now, I can feel that I'm getting into that energy place that I've been like...
Who else is on the show?
Jay Washington was our guest this week, but Aaron Turner is the co-host, and he's out of Orlando. So we Skype him in to do the show every week.
On the TV?
No, not on the TV, but on the computer.
Okay.
So yeah. So we do it on the iMac that we've just set up over there. By the way, you're listening to us for the third week in a row in the Collider Podcast Studio, which has now had even more stuff added to it. The TV is now set up officially.
It's starting to look professional.
Yes, there's a camera behind you, curtains.
Hadn't even noticed the camera.
Which they're talking about shooting stuff in here as a podcast show, but also as a video show. So who knows?
Who knows? I don't know how much more shit you can fit in here.
Yeah.
But actually, I mean, you mount stuff on the wall over there in the corner behind you. Now you have a camera angled back this way.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm saying for the person sitting on this end,
yeah,
and you can do kind of a 360 and get everybody involved,
like what you see with the Dan Patrick Show, where they have those shots of the guy of the above and then to the side, and the dudes back and back. Have you ever seen the show?
Like once.
Okay, yeah, they do that all the time.
I just remember him sitting at like a desk kind of thing.
Yeah, it's such an easy looking show. He's just sitting there talking, and all his other boys are behind the wall doing what they're doing.
The Danettes.
Yeah, basically the Danettes.
Isn't that what he calls them?
I think so.
Or at least that's where they were dubbed at some point.
Yeah. Well, of course, because they're helping him do his thing. How have you been, man? Fuck, it's the end of a long day again. So I'm chilling. So how have you been? What's going on?
Good. I am frustratingly getting through I've got like 10 projects to do for the shop.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I finished one, and now I have to go back and refinish it.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, motherfucker. And then this other one, for some reason, I was painting, and the second coat crackled. So I have no idea why. We hadn't gotten to the 90-degree days we have right now.
Oh, God.
So it wasn't hot enough to do that.
Right.
But it happened within the first couple hours. I had to sand that down, and I've gone back to repaint it, but now it looks like shit, and I don't know what. Do I need to remake this piece? And I had to use so many tools just to make this tiny little piece. And it took like 25 man-hours to make it. Yeah. Just because it's intricate. And it's just a matter of going in, and I had to take a fucking jigsaw and intricately cut out all these tiny little pieces and whatnot. It's an ornamental on top of...
Yeah. I'm
making this big... So for the upcoming tap handles, so I made a frame, and they all extend out from the wall, and there's 4 of them. And at the top will be, you know what a pizza peel is? It's with the wooden thing they use to pull pizza out of an oven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a small one of those, and then I cut out this wooden thing on deck, painting that black, and then I'm wiring LEDs that come through the on deck, like a marquee kind of sign.
Wow.
Through the back.
Yeah.
But the on deck, that fucking little piece now looks, I hate it. And I'm going to see it every time when I go in there.
Just looking at you, staring at you.
Just like, oh, look at all the imperfections.
Look at it. Look, you created me. You made me.
Well, but the frame is painted and everything else looks gorgeous. It is perfect. It's done.
Right.
It's like why it was on the path to that and got derailed. And it's the smaller piece. Like if it was the bigger piece should have been the one that was fucked because there's more paint.
Yeah.
It's just, oh man, it's so frustrating.
What do you do this, by the way? Do you do this? Because I've been to your house, but I've never seen, do you have a wood shop in the back of your house?
I use the garage.
Use the garage.
And then the whole backyard, like half of it is driveway.
Okay.
So I got a pop-up tent, this 13 by 13, I put that up. I've got a huge workbench that I put on caster wheels
that
have locks, and I just roll that out, and then I got shelves of tools.
Look at you.
Yeah, and then if I can make, it's great. Every new project, every other project, I buy a new tool. I'm like, you know what, for this one, so I bought a router for this one.
Yeah.
And I got a badass little fucking router, and I got so excited to use it. It's not even kidding. I still love my sander. I love my sander, using it every time. It is awesome.
Do you have goggles on when you do this kind of shit?
Depends.
Okay.
It depends. Sometimes goggles, sometimes I don't. There are times when I should.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Well, it's like working
standard
with
male
certain resins or epoxies or whatnot.
Yeah.
You should probably be wearing, but it's like, what are the fucking
What about
chances?
the mask and all that kind of stuff?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you walk around sometimes with nails in your mouth? You're just like, Okay.
There are times when I need those belts that have the pockets. I'm not even kidding. It's just like, I wish I had that right now because I am sick of having to put as many screws as I can get in my mouth.
What?
Plus holding one than going to do something.
Don't you have a pocket? Can't you put it in your pocket?
You want to put screws in your pocket?
Yeah, of course. Why would you put them in your mouth? That's metal in your mouth.
Well, were you putting with the head side in?
Okay.
With the point sticking out.
What, is the head side not metal? It's still metal in your mouth.
It's still metal, but you're just resting it between your lip and front teeth.
Okay.
And just like walking over. It's only to do one section. It's like I got to screw in 8 things to get this leg in. Okay, well, I'm going to take fucking as many screws as I can because I'm going to be here a while.
Well, God love you, man. I do not have that gene in me. We are, there's yet another one of the many ways that we're different. Like I was terrible at woodshop in high school. Terrible. And
I never took it.
I couldn't build frames when at Florida State to get the acting degree. You have to build flats for the stage to put the stuff on and to hang the the scenery or whatever. I was the worst at it. Like, I could not measure. I am incompetent at it, and I have tried many, many times to be better at it. But it is just not in my, like, I don't hang stuff in my house. People come over and hang it for me.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
No, I'm just telling you, I'm terrible at it.
I can understand not being able to wrap your mind around the dimensions of building, like framing a wall, which I know how to do now because
great.
I went with a buddy and he was doing it, so I just helped him for a day and I was like, okay, so we just do this, and then by the end of the day I knew how to do it.
Right.
But come on, putting a picture up on the wall?
I'm telling you, I have no concept of how to do it correctly. Finding the stud, is that what it is? And
you don't necessarily
level it out?
even have to. Leveling it out, you can eyeball it depending on what it is, and let's just go buy a cheap level.
That's the problem with my eyeball, man. I don't think my eyeball is calibrated correctly.
What, do you got a Picasso face and one eye's really offset? You're Shannon Doherty? It's just your sense of where the horizon is off at all times.
Way fucking off. It's the worst. I really hate it, dude. I feel less of a man because I can't do that kind of shit. My dad loved doing it. I don't know why it didn't pass on to me. I cannot, because I tried with and my dad would yell at me about shit because I could go on the tool. I could open the toolbox, but I know fucking, he would say the name of the tool. He would do it like 4 or 5 times. I still wouldn't know what the fuck tool he was talking about. It just never clicked on me. Movies. Oh boy, I know movies left and right, but fucking couldn't find the right tool for my dad. It was frustrating.
Well, as a kid, I didn't have any interest in it either.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just decided to build something for her. Like, I'd already helped a buddy.
Yeah.
Like, learning how to frame a wall and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any tools of my own. But I picked up the skills over the years, and then she needed new benches for the shop, and I was like, you know what? I can build that. I need to buy 2 different types of saws, and I can build that for you. And I did. I built them. They're still lasting.
Yeah.
Held up after 5 years. Still going strong. And then I built the tables, and then from the tables I built other, like, just keep adding on.
Right. That's good. I love it. I bought a tool set.
Good.
I've only ever used the hammer, the Phillips wrench, the flat side wrench, and the tape measure. That's the only thing I've ever used in the tool set.
Well, that's the basics.
Yeah, it's beyond, but it's even below the basics because it's like that. That's what a 10-year-old could figure out how to use. But like for some reason, I can't use all this other stuff.
What else is in the tool set?
Well, there's the pliers and the wire cutters and the different heads for the screwdriver and the electrical thing in there.
Electrical thing. What is that?
The electrical screwdriver, like the electrical screwdriver.
Sure.
Yeah, that.
Is it a screw gun or is it a drill?
Drill. It's a drill. Yeah,
Okay.
so you attach the head into it and stuff like that. So I'm just, it's not a thing I have a proclivity for, and I hate it because like I feel like when Gene Hackman's getting shit and Unforgiven for being unable to build his house or what his house is like, it's like what did they say? It's all
he's still trying, but it's just shit.
And then nothing adds up, and that's how I feel. That's probably what my house would be like if I was to ever build my own fucking house. That's what it would happen. That's sad. It's sad. All I can tell you, I can't do it. I can't. Also, cars and shit. I don't. I have no interest in.
I've never tried
opening an engine and looking through an engine and putting shit together. Just not my. It's not my interest.
The most I learned was how to change my oil.
Yeah,
that was it. And I did it in college for a while, and then after college, and then eventually I had money. So I was just like, because in college, it was like, well, I'm going to spend that money on pizza and beer, and other crap.
Yeah.
And one of my roommates knew how to do it, so he showed me one day, and it's like, sweet, now I'm saving like $30-$40.
More beer and pizza.
More beer. More Keystone Light or Natural Light or whatever, is the cheapest at the liquor store that day.
What's the worst beer you've ever had?
I mean, I've had them. I've had a lot of bad beers. Red, white, and blue.
Oh, God damn.
Hams. Schlitz.
Schlitz is the worst.
Schlitz is pretty bad.
Oh, God.
Hams was okay. It's kind of Pabsty.
Yeah. Yeah, PBR.
Yeah, I liked PBR back in the day, even though everybody thought it was a white trash beer.
Yeah, you can get by. You can get by with PBR.
Well, no, now it's I see it out. Like I've been to places on Sunset for years now. For like 8 years, I've had PBR.
It's got a kitsch factor to it now.
Yeah. Well, the hipster resurgence of what's old is new, and PBR got plucked from that waistband. Hams and a bunch of others were sitting there. Right,
old Milwaukee's best.
Yes, just like, dude, why not us? Why not us?
Stroh's.
Man, red, white, and blues packaging, because I worked at a liquor store at 16.
Yeah.
At one point, I remember...
At 16?
In Illinois, you were allowed to at 16.
Holy
I ran
shit.
the lotto machine and stocked the shelves.
I can see a young Matt Knost.
That was good at it. Yeah, it was
Did you have the apron on, or what did you use?
We had vests.
Oh, vests.
Little red vests you put on. It didn't have any buttons or anything. It just hung there.
What was the name of it?
What was it? Super Liquors? There was like 6 of them, 7 of them in Peoria.
Super Liquors. Fuck yes.
Something
I love
like that. Something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Super Liquors.
Pretty sure it was just something simple.
We go down to the Super Liquors. Give me some Schlitz.
Yeah. It's 16. Did I ever get beer and stuff from there? I might have.
I mean, he's not going to admit it.
I might have.
Might have been one line.
I might not have. Yeah. I remember once a buddy of mine came in, and I worked there for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes who worked was like, look, just have your friend come in, whoever looks the oldest. And a friend of mine had a full beard.
Of course.
And, it was videos from, a video camera from 1990, what is that, 1995, 90, somewhere in that. It's like, as long as he looks old enough, he can flash me his library card. I'll sell you guys some beer. And it was like, sweet. So I got a hold of my buddy Brad, and he came in and flashed some bullshit, but it had his picture on it, so at least if the camera was looking, you could see in the same spot as our driver's licenses, there was a picture, and that's all I could make out.
Right.
And I sold him the beer, and then later that night, my buddy Brad was being cocky with a bunch of people that didn't know the story, and I was just like, you motherfucker. Yeah, you just look so old and so convincing.
Shit, I just walked in there and got the beer, man.
Yeah, it was unlike him, but he was so like, fuck yeah, I bought beer tonight.
I'm a man.
Yeah, precisely.
Remember Lowenbrow?
Lowenbrow,
Remember that shit? There was
label.
Kids, for those of you who are young enough, there was a time when you had beer commercials all the time on TV. Like, it wasn't just the standard Miller, Bud, Coors. There was like all kinds of beers that had, Milwaukee's Best, I think, had
cheap,
one.
shitty beer.
Yeah, they all had commercials on there. I remember Lowenbrow. Tonight is kind of special. I remember that shit, right?
Didn't they have like a griffin or a lion?
Yeah, it was a lion or a griffin. Yeah, it was like a blue and the thing
blue
was
with goldish type of hue. Remember Grolsch?
Oh yeah, Grolsch, of course.
Yeah, the rubber stopper top.
Yep.
Yeah, so strange. It was the only one. It stuck out.
Yeah, I'd like to be hired to that. That's it coming out of community college. How are we going to market? Let's get a marketing director as a kid out of community college. Grolsch. Let's see what we're doing. Grolsch. What's
terrible name?
There were so many different type of beers. They all had commercials. It was really funny to watch them back in the old days. Anyway, so this week is a really special week. Obviously, this Sunday this Sunday just
past Sunday.
Yeah, was Father's Day, which is it's an okay day now. It's been like over 10 years since Pops died, so it's like it's a day. And I deal with it, and I move on. But I don't get as emotional about it as I used to. The first 2 or 3 years are tough, man, because like everyone's celebrating, and you
can't even imagine.
Yeah, and you get you see the commercials, and you see all the circulars, and then people are off. Oh, I can't hang out today. My dad. I'm going down to see my dad. You hear all that stuff, and it just hurts a lot, So just those were the days. But now it's like it is a day. You move on from it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But we had a Patron. And I want to give him a big shout out. Sean Brennan, he wrote us a pretty awesome email And Matt, do you mind if I read it? Is that cool?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, he said, "Hey guys, very long listener, Patreon member for a while, and I'm finally in a spot where I can do what I've wanted to from the beginning, which is being a Boss Hogg member. This show has really meant a lot to me, and has helped me get through some really tough times. I lost my father suddenly around 2 years ago, and listening to John talk about his father has really helped me knowing I'm not alone dealing with that. Yeah, it's the rite of passage sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. In that spirit, my idea for a show is top 10 movies introduced to you by your father. I thought it might be good for Father's Day weekend. If that won't work or it would be too hard, I can think of something else. I just thought it might be cool to see how these choices affected you guys. Thanks so much for everything." Well, it was a nice suggestion. First of all, Sean, thank you so much for the kind words, and of course, our condolences on the loss of your father.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm thankfully haven't gone what you two have gone through, and I'm not looking forward to it. Hopefully, I go before anybody that I love.
No, that's really the selfish.
It is
thing
the
that you
selfish.
want.
I don't want to have
true.
to deal with the reality of I can't talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
And someone is pivotal and monumental as that is.
Yeah.
I'm not envious of the situation at all. So
It sucks because you lose that counselor in your life, man. The one person that knows you from birth. And of course, your mom does as well, but your dad has. It's just a different.
It's a different dynamic.
Father son.
Yeah,
things.
with each parent.
Yeah, and you have little things that, hey, if my dad was here, he'd know how to walk me through this or things.
On
of
some
that
level,
nature.
he is my God.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Just like he does things, and in the lore, like when you were talking about your dad never taught you. My dad never built anything like this, but in my head, he had the tools and he could fix things every once again when needed.
Right.
So I'm like, he could have totally done this. It's my dad. I still have that all these years later because I have a belief in him just as he has a belief in me.
Right. To do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we told Sean that we wanted to do a variation of the topic. We like the topic. We want to do a little bit of a variation so to keep it more open and more fun and playful. And so we decided to do top 10 movie dads. Mm-hmm. So dads in movies. So it isn't specific. It could be multiple movies, depending if it's a franchise or not. But it's a top 10 movie dads, and so that's the subject of the show this week. And this was a damn tough. I thought I would struggle to find the ones. And then all of a sudden I had 20 or 30 on my page. I'm like, dude, good God. Yeah, see? Look at that. Wow. Matt is showing me.
An entire page.
Yeah, an entire page. Both
two
columns. Two columns.
A legal pad of choices.
Woo.
And it's sometimes you write down and you're like, that doesn't really have a shot. I can make a case for all of these. I could have done.
Oh, yeah.
We could have been like movie dads that sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, there's a sacrifice.
Splitting the atom, yeah.
Yeah. Or movie dads that are like single parents. Okay,
right.
Or you can. There's so many to choose from. It's amazing. It crosses comedy, drama, action, so many different genres.
Yeah,
the choices are kind of endless.
I think that's what I enjoyed the most about making this list. With there was so many different genres of movies that you could play around in, and so eventually we'll probably revisit it down the road as well, and then we can start splitting the atom in that way, like top 10 dads, like you said, sacrifice, top 10 dads who were dads, but being a dad wasn't necessarily the central part of the movie, or things of that nature. Like Die Hard was one that was really hard. He's a dad, but he doesn't really do any dad type stuff in the movie. Yeah. So how can
that
you
didn't
qualify
for me?
Yeah, it didn't qualify for me either.
There needs to be I need to see the kids, and there needs to be a dynamic on some level.
Yes.
For the interaction, I'm saying that aloud. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think for me, pretty much every single one has that.
Yeah, where you understand the stakes of it and why this is a dad type of thing to you individually. That's the other thing. This is a very personal list.
Yeah.
Because
good point.
I like this performance over others because of X, Y, and Z from this and what that means to me and how it helps me understand and relate to my dad.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of people who are probably upset that we didn't pick certain ones.
I want to. I rarely go. I want to do honorable mentions. I want to list off all because they're all deserving films.
That's fine.
And I hope I have 10 different ones.
I have a few of them. Yeah.
Because I can't. This is going to be a fucking tough list. Because they all mean something.
Yeah. Try not to be so angry as we walk in.
No, I'm looking at this list going, there's so many really good choices.
Well, that's a good thing about the film industry then, that they do a really good job creating so many memorable dads over the years, right? So that's a positive. Give us a lot to choose from.
There's also a lot of shitty dads out there. We could have done a worse dads,
Oh, that'd be fun.
From This Boy's Life.
Yeah.
De Niro.
Yeah.
Well, he's in contention for that top 5. That dude sucks.
Yeah,
or the dad, Chris Cooper from October Sky. Or
he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah, jerk asshole dads.
Yeah.
Or you could do Chris Cooper again from American
Beauty. I say Kurtwood Smith from Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Right? He's such a jerk.
We can do this. I mean, that's another one too. Biggest asshole dads in movies.
I can't wait till we do that list.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So we should get to it. Matt, do you want to tell them how the show works?
Yeah. Once we set a topic, John and I go our individual ways. Or who's the gentleman? Sean
Brennan.
Sean
yes.
set the topic for us, and thank you once again. We go our individual ways and create personal top 10 lists. Show back up here. I do my bottom 3. He does his bottom 3. I do my next 2. He does his next 2. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom. And Sean, we're going to read his list at the end.
Correct.
And compare it to ours. But for now, we're going to do ours.
Dude. Out of curiosity, since you've seen his list, do you have any commonality with him?
I haven't looked at his list.
Oh, okay, good.
I purposely want us to,
yeah, that's probably how I do too. I want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
So there's a genuine reaction to it.
That's the top 10 show. We fresh.
Yeah. 100%. Guess what? We got something fresh for the end of this show, too.
That's right. We got
fresh response to something fresh that came. And let's use fresh one more time. Number 10 for me.
We're certified fresh. Yeah,
was Brian Mills from Taken.
Oh, that is my number 10, you son of a bitch. Yes.
It's the only outlandish one. Like, a lot of the others are grounded in reality. But, man, oh, man, don't you believe your dad? Wouldn't it be awesome if your dad at some point was like, the cliched speech of, I will find you.
Oh, yeah.
I will kill you.
Yeah.
Just like it ends up being true and be like, that's my fucking dad, man. That is my dad.
Yeah.
Doing all these amazing things in service of just trying to protect and save me.
Yeah. And even at the end, her reaction to when he shows up is so incredible. She's like, Dad? She's so in shock. And then she's happy to see him, Maggie Grace, the actress there. And absolutely. And the guy does everything. And it's a fantastic. Dude, that film still works. Saw it again, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago on a Saturday afternoon. I was comatose playing ball with you guys, and I was just laying on the couch, and it came on. I was like, I'm not changing this. This is so good. And I just got hooked all over again. And the whole process, because you forget the film moves so fast. There's hardly any downtime, and you enjoy the ingenuity of Liam Neeson's character, Brian Mills, through the whole movie and how he figures everything out. And my favorite part is when you think he's fucked, and he's got the handcuffs on. He's over the steam drain or whatever the steam pipe, whatever that thing is. And then he ends up loosening it, yanking it down, and he kills homie in the fucking elevator. When he's like, it's not personal. It was to me. And I love that. Yeah. So, I agree with you. Everything about him, like going and getting his daughter back, like, that's a good dad.
It is.
So
it's a good dad. And the way she melts into him once it actually happens, his response back to me makes it a dad moment in that he doesn't gloat.
Nope.
He doesn't. Nothing in this was in service to him.
Yep.
It was all because he thought he had failed you and wanted you, like, just to protect you.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you're safe and you're okay and you're going to be happy. That's all he wants for you.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did it in a way where we're all walking out going, that seemed really real and believable for a ridiculous amount of action from Liam Neeson. And it's stuck. It's one of those. It's an excellent movie. Out of nowhere, that guy was a badass action star and got a career to this day because of it.
He got a second career out of this movie.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
In his 60s, son. That's incredible.
I don't even know. Do they offer him just straight up?
Yeah, of course. He's done so many of these type of movies since Taken.
But on Taken, or do they go, hey, can you show us on film whether or not you have the agility to do this? Because the intensity and everything, you always believe that from Liam Neeson.
Right.
Like, it's a guy that there's always a sternness within the eyes, even in the soft moments.
There's always a simmering intensity.
Yeah.
You're right. It's all just sitting there right below the surface.
So does he have the physicality to inflict that will physically, as opposed to just the mental aspect of it?
What is it, 6 foot?
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. So maybe they're just like, well, we'll just train this guy. And plus, it's a small movie. It wasn't a high budget. You get...
No, but it's like, it's Bourne light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not full Jason Bourne, but it's damn close. And for a guy at his age, how do you, out of nowhere, just pull this trick out of your bag?
Yeah.
That's what always impressed me. Is, man. And then from there, like, The Gray. It's a great movie. You never would have gotten offered, more than likely.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Yeah.
And that's a great damn movie.
It is.
I love The Gray. All right, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation.
That's a punt, son.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I wanted to put it higher, but even though it's one of my favorite movies.
I know, I respect that.
But in terms of dad in this list, I was like, well,
he's a good dad.
He is a good dad.
Well, he's an idiot, but he's a good dad.
Others just sacrificed more of themselves.
Yeah, fair.
And went through more emotion. And when I think dad, I think like he's juggling all this shit, man.
Yeah.
Trying to work. Like when I was a kid, my dad worked 60, 70 hours a week pretty consistently. It's like trying to do all that and still be a good dad, make time and do this and just like it's
not easy.
Griswold he's a shitload of fun. That's the reason why I like that movie and the character so much. Okay, number 8 for me is Jim Braddock in Cinderella Man.
Oh wow, dude, great choice. Fuck, that's a great choice,
when
Matt.
he goes hat in hand.
Damn it!
Literally the cliche, but it's so honest.
It's such a tough list. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And whatever you have that I don't, it's on my side list.
What a great choice, man.
When he goes hat in hand in front of all those promoters and just, I needed to put on airs on some level, but I can't. My family is starving.
Yep.
We are destitute. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And just comes and, I mean, that's a dad.
Yep.
I will sacrifice everything for my kids, whatever it is. I will not eat a meal so they have a little bit extra.
Right.
I will, sleep in the cold so they can have my blanket.
Yep.
The sacrifice and the fact that it's a true story and he lived through all that and came back because he went through that and built up his left hand from using the hook and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because he went through the depths of what life had to offer him at that moment and made it out the other side and just kept pushing and did it for altruistic reasons.
Yeah.
Gave him the ability to succeed in the end and give his kids and family the life that he always wanted for them.
That's a great choice, dude. And also because he was not only did it provide, he also provided a symbol for his kids to look up to. A guy
in the community at large.
Yes, the community. Exactly, because he tried to save his friend Mike, who went down and got involved in the tent city stuff.
With like the American public
Yeah.
rallying around a guy. They know his story. He was on the docks. He came back and he paid back his welfare money that he got.
Yeah.
This is public assistance or whatever they called it at the time.
Yep.
Paid that back. They showed up and they're like, what? What is this?
Nobody does
gives
this.
Yeah. And then that ends up getting out to the press before like that'd be leaked to PR. And that was just him being a nice guy.
Yep.
Trying to be like, you know what, you helped me in my time of need, and here's me repaying that debt.
Yeah, yeah.
Society owes me nothing that I can't, get for myself.
Exactly. And he does such a great job with that.
Yeah, just like that. That to me is a dad. That's what I want, and that's something I believe my dad. Like I technically could have gone through hoops and whatnot to qualify for a discount on my college tuition, but my dad was like, I make enough money so we can save that money and give it to somebody else that needs it, as opposed to taking it out of their pocket.
That's awesome.
And I was like, man, that's a fucking. You're willing to sacrifice so that somebody else doesn't have to, that genuinely needs it more than we do.
Yeah, the lessons, man.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
That is. It's just like, wow, man. And he set aside all that money for all those years and built up, and it's just like, I took care. I made a plan.
Yeah,
everything's fine. You're like, fuck, man.
That's awesome.
So he's like Jim Braddock to me. When I saw that, you see it, it resonates so thoroughly. You're like, yeah, I think that's what my dad would do. And I like that about this character. And you want to see him win in the end, because if he can't win, man, life sucks.
Yeah.
Life sucks.
I agree with you. Okay, so then my number 10, that was your number 8. So my number 10, like we said already, was Liam Neeson in Taken. So my number 9 is Eugene Levy in American Pie in the series.
Good choice.
He's such a good dad.
He is a good dad.
Like he's got such a goofy fuck up as a kid, but the kid's got a good heart because his dad's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he takes that on, right? And his dad's been there for him through all the different changes in his life. I mean, some of my favorite, those movies you can like or hate him if you want, that whole series. But
the first one's great.
The first one's great, yeah. And I think the third one has some really great moments. American Wedding.
Never saw it. I don't
really?
think. Maybe a little bit in piece. I know I saw the second one.
Yeah, the second one was okay.
And I don't even remember what the plot of the second one was.
They go to the beach house, and they have that whole thing with the beach.
I think I saw it in the theater, and I have not seen it since.
It's not a good movie. But in 1 and 3, he has such great moments with Jim, with son, which is Jason Biggs. They have like really great moments, like father-son moments that you get, because I was a bit of a fuck up at times as a child, and my dad would have to have these conversations with me, sitting on the side of the bed, going like, Look, you can't do this. You got to. What about? You got to be thinking about this and thinking about that and all that kind of jazz. And so I enjoy those scenes in the movies with him, and they're really well acted. And Eugene Levy does such a great job of keeping the goofiness of those movies, the comedy of those movies, but still bringing the right amount of heart to those interactions. And you can tell he really loves his son, and he's proud of his son. Even when his son is messing stuff up, he's still proud of him in his interactions with him, and that bleeds through in a lot of those scenes, and especially American Wedding when they're talking about the marriage and they're about like all the conversations he's having about the wedding. Like he's so great in like walking him through all the fears and then what the possibilities could be and all of that. And so to me, I absolutely love him in those movies.
Yeah, he is good. It's just the sex talk when they have the dirty mag.
That's right.
And he's like, it just awkwardly trying to have the discussion but not have the discussion.
Yeah.
Did you and your dad have a birds and the bees?
Not until after I had started having sex.
Yeah, my dad had more of the wear protection discussion once he assumed I started having sex.
My dad was more upset about it because I was having it because I started having sex when I was 15. So I didn't tell my dad about it till I was like 16 or 17. But when he found out, he was just like, it was all warnings. You're going to get somebody pregnant. It was all of that because he was just really awkward about it. My dad was just really awkward about it.
Well, I mean, a different generation.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, he's from a different, he's a Latino from the old school Latino where I grew up as an American Latino, so it's a different culture. So, for him, it was like, you don't talk about it. You just don't talk about it. You just handle your business and do your thing.
Well, I'd assume, the dominant culture is Catholic culture.
Yeah.
Which is, I was raised Catholic.
Right.
It's, there's just as much shame in that religion as other, motivating factors.
Yeah, it isn't just Jewish guilt. There's Catholic shame as well.
Yeah, there's every, religion for the most part has a version of that.
Yeah, to maintain.
How they keep you under their thumb.
Yeah.
And to which direction and degree they do it.
But as I got older, he became a great source of counsel in relationships and dating situations. And if I had listened to him more, I think I would have been in a better, would have dealt with those a little bit better than I did. And so his advice still rings nowadays. Whenever I get into a situation, I always remember something he said and I go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's follow that path and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the great things about my dad I love is that I still have his counsel in a way without him still being here. Yeah. I still have his counsel and that helps, the words and stuff like that. So, that's what I love about Eugene Levy in the movies. He has great advice for his son all the time.
Now, here's a weird thing. So certain things, I have inherited through my dad.
Yeah.
And certain things, I just assumed it was from the environment. And it turns out some of this is genetic. And I realized my dad, when he, if we're watching a game, it's middle of the afternoon or something, and he falls asleep on the couch, he does this weird little exhale and I go, and he does a little mini plosive pee just over and over again. Yeah. And it's the weirdest thing. He's the only one in my family I've ever seen do it.
Yeah.
And apparently every once and again I do that. That's some genetic trait. And I'm like, oh, wow, I wonder what the fuck that is. Is it the structure of our jaw or is it I don't even know. But my wife told me that and I was like, because I have mannerisms that are his.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when I do them sometimes I'm like, fuck, I'm my dad right now.
Yeah.
I am utterly my dad. Mm-hmm. And so you just assume it's just you absorbed it as opposed to, no, you were born doing some of this shit.
Yeah. My dad, I sometimes will randomly break out into mini dances as I'm walking around my apartment, and my dad used to do that. My dad would just he would just do little mini dance. I go, you just look so goofy and doing that shit.
It's fun.
And I never thought, as I got older, never thought I'd be doing that kind of shit too. And when I catch myself doing it, I go, son of a bitch, that's my dad. Or the sneeze. My sneeze now is at the sound and volume and level and ferocity that my dad's sneeze was when I was growing up, when I was cognizant of my father's loud
sneezes. Just like
sneezes.
A sonic boom?
Yes, it really is. I think and it sounds like someone stepping on those goats when they're yelling. When they go to yell, it sounds like someone stepping on the neck of a goat as it's yelling. That's what my sneeze sounds like.
Jesus Christ! One of those yelling goes just one of those highs.
Yeah. I go, that's how I sneeze. And my dad used to do that all the time. He used to scare the shit out of me when my dad sneezed. So, but yeah, every once in a while, I find characteristics that my dad and I share. My dad liked to fall asleep with his hand in his pants. It was I've never done that. He would put his hand
just in one pocket, same pocket.
No, inside his belt of his pants on the right side, on the right side of his pants, right above his leg. He would just fall asleep that way, and then with the finger on his face, he's he's thinking about something. Okay, and he would just fall asleep like that. He would just fall asleep like that. Just randomly in the middle of the day, just fall asleep like that.
That's how he gets comfortable.
Yeah, once I start doing that, then I'll know I'm fully my dad.
You may not even know you're doing it. Maybe he falls asleep or fell asleep rather, and just after a while was oblivious to that fact.
Yeah, completely oblivious. All right, so my number 8 is Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
That is a punt.
Okay, fair enough. I had a feeling. This was really tough to order as well. Just picking out the 10 was tough, and then figuring out the order of them was even tougher, to be honest with you.
All right. Yeah. I'm not, however you want to slice it, this was hard. Number 7 for me is Cooper from Interstellar.
Oh, good choice, man.
It's the video.
It's on my honorable mentions.
It's on the video conference call when not conference call, so to speak, but he gets all their messages because they went down by that black hole. Now they've been down there for 30-something years.
Yeah.
And he comes back and he sees the final one where she's given up and he's reaching out. He did all of this. He knew this could have been a bad choice, but he was doing it to save them.
Yeah.
And then that motivates him to continue to push forward as opposed to give up to the despair of the situation as a whole, saying it's an insurmountable hill. This problem is too large.
Right.
I can't. I have to keep pushing and striving for them. I have to assume that they're doing the same and I'm doing it on my end because I'm not going to give up on them and I don't think that they're going to give up on me.
Right.
And ultimately that bears out. But that alone, I was already on board with that movie, and as soon as that happened in the theater, I almost started crying.
Yeah.
I came very close, just holding it back.
Yeah.
And it still gets me. I've gone back just to rewatch that specific scene.
Wow.
Because the emotional hook of it is that strong within me.
Yeah, McConaughey's incredible in that scene.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout the movie, when he has those moments when he's really confronting, if he's ever going to see his daughter again or his kids again, all of that. And then at the end, when he's doing what he's doing, at the end, I don't want to ruin too much of the movie, but when he's finds that portal into doing what he wants to do to show things, like you can tell the desperation and the love that is there when he's doing what he's doing in those scenes are just incredible, man. He crossed some kind of line a few years ago that he stopped being the dude, the all right guy, and he became this incredible. Yeah.
After True Detective, man, that guy hit found sixth gear.
Yeah.
Just now can relay within that Interstellar. His eyes turn to puddles of water.
Yeah.
They're a liquid and a solid at the same time. It's like this shimmering pool of despair. Yeah. And he's lost and he's alone out in the middle of fucking space, man. Wrap your mind around the fact that what to you perceive that to be, 70 to 90 minutes.
Right.
Was 30 some odd years, and you can't.
Yeah.
The fact that time is relative and the gravity slowed down time for you, but it's moving faster for everybody else. Yep. Just now I have to show back up here, and what was theoretical before is real, and they've given up, and it's so many years later, and are they still there? Oh my God!
Yeah, and he's sacrificing to the whole reason he's out there is trying to save the Earth. Yeah, not just his family, the Earth.
I mean, his family is the motivator, but it's the Earth.
Yeah,
but he's sometimes you can solve the macro by solving the micro. Just like the micro is, I need to save them. I need to save my kids.
Right. I got to do this to save my kids.
Yeah. Exactly. You could make a case that he's doing this more for Murph.
Right.
The daughter.
Oh, yeah.
There's never an expression of, but he definitely has a greater bond with his daughter.
Yeah.
His son feels, betrayed on some level. He ran away from the problem. That's how he feels.
Is that Casey in the movie?
Casey Affleck,
yeah. Right,
I can't remember the son's name within it.
Yeah.
That's what I got. His dad ran away. That's how he viewed it. You ran off in space as opposed to staying down here and dealing with the situation at hand. You went for this pie in the sky bullshit.
Yeah.
And, but man, that's a powerful. That was a dad to me.
Yeah.
That's a sacrifice. You sacrificed everything. Every person you ever knew, every potential chance of making a memory beyond a certain age to save them, to make sure that they lived.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a death on some level.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Matt King from The Descendants.
Shut the fuck up. That's my number 6.
Is it?
The George Clooney?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Dude, when I was doing this list and putting this together, and it took me a few hours to put it all together because there's so many things to go through. When I stumbled upon George Clooney, I said, that's going on my list.
That's a dad.
That's a great dad. Because a real dad, that's what happens. We want the dad to do all these kinds of things the
amazing, the Herculean.
Yeah.
And this is just every day. Life gave him a double 1-2 on his nutsack.
Right.
His wife dies and then finds out that she was cheating on him. And the kids, I believe they knew. At least the older daughter
Shailene Woodley knew. Yeah.
I don't think the younger knew.
No.
And him having to hold it together to keep this family together, and then more so looking at the legacy that he and his wife would want for the kids, and realizing that in this moment he's allowed to be upset, but it is selfish and he needs to focus on them.
Yep.
And it's like, man, that is fucking powerful.
And at the same time, he's dealing with his family members who want him to do this deal so they can make a lot of money.
Yeah, they all want to sell out their inheritance.
Yeah. And then he's dealing with the fact that he's found out who his wife was cheating on him with, and then having to navigate this with his daughter, his youngest daughter, what to tell her, what not to tell her. And he can't indulge in what he wants to do. He can't indulge in those moments of like yelling and freaking out. He has to keep it together, even though he wants to. And I think the biggest thing about this, Matt, which was what made this movie so incredible to me, is he was able to look at the mistakes he made that might have prompted her to cheat on him. And that is incredible, man.
It's a two-way street in a marriage.
Yeah.
So if they feel like they were, they needed to do this, well, you were helping push them towards that. As much as you don't want to claim responsibility, there's a reason that it was that emotion was not being serviced at home, whatever it may be, or that need.
Yeah, because he was away all the time being a lawyer. And Robert Forster, his wife's dad, calls him out on that shit. He's like, you left her for so long. What did you, blah, blah, blah. And he, through his strength, he does not try to win the moments emotionally with these people by telling them what she did, because then that would soil her memory to these people. And that's a noble gesture, as hard as it may be. And not a lot of people are strong enough to do that. And it was incredible to watch him do it through the whole movie, dude.
Especially with his father-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, because he's such a jerk, Robert Forster.
And Forster's right.
Yeah.
Like you understand his motivation as a dad, thinking his little girl did no wrong here. This is your fault.
Right.
She is my princess, and you are the asshole that took her from me.
Yeah.
As much as I may like you, you're still that individual. Like I can't imagine what it's like having a little girl, because these dudes are scumbags.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't want my little princess being out into the world with you assholes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Sometimes I catch I'll catch a dad with his daughter, and I'll just look at the daughter and I'll be like, oh man, I get it. Like, I get why dads get so super possessive of their daughters and super worried about their daughters walking out into the world, and because they know how terrible guys can be. They know how terrible the world can be, and so they're just like doing everything possible to protect their girls for as long as possible before they have to walk out into the shit show that is the world and figure it out. It's getting a little bit better, and that's a good thing. And things are becoming more equal. All this stuff happening now recently,
but it's never going to go away.
Yeah, it's never going to go away because it's a primal thing.
It is. We can hope to tame some of it, but some of it is ingrained in us within, genetically.
Yeah.
So guys are still going to make passes and hit on you and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, how do you just bat dicks away? So, I mean,
should be a video game. That should be a video game.
Fuck.
Batting dicks away.
Batting dicks away?
That's going to be a whole app.
Well, we have two demographics that want to play that. That's about it. We're taking a lot of potential market off the table, but we could be big.
What's also great about the movie, Matt, and I know we have to move on, but what's great about the movie too is that the progression of the relationship with him and his daughters. Like at the beginning, it's a certain way, and then he's kind of frustrated a little bit about it because they're like, she's acting out. Shailene Woodley is, and the little daughter just doesn't want to accept things the way they are, and they navigate all the way through to the end, so that when you have that ice cream moment at the end, it's actually really earned. Between them, and I appreciated that a lot,
Yeah, just like basically doesn't want to sell out the inheritance, because if you give your kids too much, then they don't do they do nothing with it or something like that. Right. But if you give them just enough, they'll be enough. Yeah, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So if we could sell this all and you can take all the money, then what are you going to do with it?
Right.
And now we don't have this to hand down as like a legacy to future generations. And what's more important? Yeah. You really need that fucking hot tub or whatever the hell you're going to be, because that's a temporary thing. Whereas we have this, and this is ours, and we can share this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then my number 7 is Mr. Incredible. Craig T. Nelson in The Incredibles. And because I've seen Incredibles 2 now, it's even more amazing who he is.
Spoilers. No spoilers. Seeing it this weekend.
Yep, no spoilers. Just saying, he's a really great dad in both movies. And if we focus on just the first movie, he's that dad who is going through kind of a midlife crisis. He used to be this powerful guy, because it's an analogy, right? When he was younger, he was Mr. Incredible, the hero. Now that he's older, he can't be Mr. Incredible anymore. He's fat. He's working a dead-end job, doing insurance because he has to provide for the family. He's dealing with it. He's got his kids at home. He's got a new baby. He's got all this. He's got the daughter going into teenage years. So there's more talking back from the daughters, more questioning thing from the daughter. You got a kid who's running around all over the place that he can't control, who's fucking with his teacher, all that kind of stuff. So you see that. And of course, his wife, who he loves to pieces, Elastigirl, she has her stuff trying to maintain everything going on at the house as well. So he's going through his own crisis through the whole movie, and still being a good dad, trying to teach them right from wrong and doing what he can do in that way and provide for them. And then he gets this opportunity that he thinks is going to be great for him to go and be like a Mr. Incredible again, and maybe like also help the family out. And then it all kind of falls apart, but then he brings the family together with Elastigirl, with Helen, and they work together. But that moment near the end of the movie, before they get into the final battle, and he screams at Helen, Elastigirl, and she throws like, "Oh, why don't you think? Do you think a woman can't do what a man can do?" She's like, "No, I can't lose you again.
Yeah,
I don't think I could survive." And that moment breaks me every single time.
From a guy that can survive anything.
Yes,
this is what will destroy him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible can be destroyed by this.
Yeah, it was a tough mission, like a lot of them, man. I was like, man, that's a good. I've got him on my side, along with like 30 other choices.
Well, I think if I hadn't seen Incredibles 2, it might not have made the top 10 list. But there's even more in Incredibles 2 of him as a dad, and it's just fantastic.
I can't wait.
Yeah, Matt, I've seen it twice now already. Luckily through screenings and stuff.
You son of a bitch. Look, I'm the one that basically like got you to reestablish your love of this movie. You get to go to 2. You don't have a +1 on any of those?
I'm sorry. It took
Shoot
me
me a text.
Shannon and Vogel. I'm sorry. I promise. If I get another screen,
If you know it's something like that.
I know you're going with your wife, though. I want to take away that experience.
I would see it a second time.
All right,
I've already
fair.
seen Deadpool twice.
Oh, there you go. Okay, all right.
She hadn't seen it. I saw it opening night. She didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I went with, I was in Nashville for Gabe's graduation. I went with Gabe and then my brother-in-law, Ryan. And we all went because I wanted to see his opening night. Let's go see Deadpool.
Did Gabe graduate?
Yeah, he graduated.
Happy graduation, Gabe.
He's going to San Diego State for film.
Nice. He'll come up and be a guest again when he comes down there. When he goes down there.
Well, he already asked.
He did. Oh, of course he did.
Well, no.
You
he
damn
wanted
millennials.
Sometime he's going to be in town for like 3 days or something. He's like, what are the chances of? And I was like, not going to happen. Not going to happen. We don't have repeat guests that quick. It's just not going to happen. And just the look on his eyes is like, man, look, if you get into, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but
maybe we should have him for a Patron, a special Patron episode.
I was going to say, if we're going to open it up just to anybody at this point.
Well, Gabe's not anybody. He's your family.
I know. I'm fucking around.
That's hilarious. Anyway, so I just enjoy. So we can move on, though, because that's the thing that I just.
Well, hopefully everybody that's listening to this now has already seen Incredibles 2.
Oh, good point.
And is agreeing with you going,
yeah.
Excellent choice.
Right.
He's even better in this one, and his character grows and does all this, and he is a hell of a dad. I can't wait.
There's a great moment in this one that rivals what he has with Helen in that moment in the first film. So
Sweet.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I assume that was coming.
Well, we already said 6 with Clooney the Descendants, so what's your number 5?
My number 5 is George Bailey, It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh, that's a punt.
Is it a punt?
That's a punt, son.
Once again, I've only seen the movie once, and I just saw
it. It's a
I've seen the radio play twice.
It's a damn crime. All right. So what happens now?
Your 5?
My 5 is a punt from earlier. Chevy Chase, Vacation movies.
Okay.
I love Clark Griswold. Look, I may not be the biggest Christmas Vacation fan necessarily.
You're sitting across from one of the biggest.
Yeah, exactly. But I love Vacation. And there are parts of European Vacation that are funny
so you're
as
saying
well.
the full scope.
Yeah, the full scope of him through all 3 movies. I think he's a fantastic dad.
You're just excluding Vegas?
Oh, God, I've never seen Vegas.
You've never seen Vegas?
Oh, my God, I forgot about Vegas.
It's one of those things of I didn't hate it as much as I should have because I've liked so much of the others.
Right.
And for that reason alone, it's okay in my book.
Okay.
But I can't defend it.
Are any of the kids back? Or are these new
No, they
kids
changed them again.
They just said, God, how many
Supposedly Chevy thought that was a really funny joke to change them every movie. And it's like, that's funny to you as opposed to the 2 actors you've now put out of work consistently over and over.
Who could have been making money off a franchise.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, a couple of them went on to do, a lot of great work.
Clearly, Anthony Michael Hall.
Juliette Lewis. Skalicki.
From
Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, that guy, Johnny Galecki.
Galecki.
Yes, not Skaliski.
No, he writes the question.
Hey, screw you, Chris. 47 meters down. Screw you, Chris.
And let's see, in Vegas, one of the son was, it's a guy that popped up in so many 90s movies as a teenager.
Okay.
I can't remember. I always liked him.
Yeah.
And then the sister, I don't remember if she was in anything else. Maybe. Okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, just saying that I really enjoy. He loves his kids. He's dumb. But his heart's always in the right place. And that's the thing I always like about Clark Griswold. Like, as stupid as he is, his heart's in the right place. He still has his moments of, like, you know, like the stuff with Christine Brinkley and the stuff in the third movie with the woman in the pool. He still has his moments where he's a little on the
lingerie,
line.
buying the lingerie as well. You want to wrap that up? Yeah, Dad, you want to wrap that up? Hey, Russ, kind of thing.
I love that sequence, man. But he's just so, he does what he can, especially in Christmas Vacation. Like, he wants to put that tree, put it in there. He deals with all the family. He knows how nutty both families are, bringing them to the house, letting Randy Quaid. Like, he could be a real jerk, and he's not. He lets everybody come and stay with him. He deals with it, even though he hates it.
Yeah,
he deals with it.
He peppers it in every once and again.
Sure.
Dismissive of the older guy, Grace's husband. Grace!
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Yeah. He's like, he's diplomatic with him.
Yeah.
And Eddie, at times, just that diplomacy goes away entirely, and he's just dismissive of him. Not, derisively, but it's just like, yeah, okay, kind of thing.
But he's a standard American. He's a snapshot of a standard American dad.
Yeah, he's
from
a
those
dad.
days, right? In the 80s, too, like him driving them to Wally World, all the shit they go through just to get, because he wants to bring his kids to Wally World. And he wants to, there's like a goal, and no matter what gets in his way, he's going to get to Wally World. And then when it's closed, he, breaks all kinds of laws.
Snaps.
Yeah, he snaps. Yeah, because he's like spent so much
time. My
time.
dad did that on a vacation once.
Of course.
We went to Lake of the Ozarks, and we were trying to get our boat back onto the trailer.
Yeah.
And the winch, it was like this thick nylon type of, think of it like a seatbelt type of.
Okay.
And it wasn't, but it was similar to that.
Right.
And you used that, and it winched it back up, and it got wrapped up. And literally, as he's trying to unwrap it through all the tension and everything else, only this motherfucking family. And just like he snapped that day, he just had enough. My dad had those moments as a kid. I remember once I didn't know.
Story moment.
Yeah,
Florida.
Our dog. My dad was dealing with, but both my parents were dealing with a ton of stress.
Yeah.
Just like now, looking back,
yeah.
I understand all the factors that were working against it. At the time, I knew none of it.
Right.
And I was in 6th grade, and our dog kept walking up to the door, indicating I need to go outside. And we were having like just a slow dinner. Mm-hmm. And my dad was like, nobody's getting up to take that dog out. We were finishing dinner, and nobody was talking. Because normally we were a fun family talking during. And it was one of those nights of like, Mom and Dad are both in bad moods. Nobody's talking.
Yeah.
And finally, the third time, my dog goes up there and making eye contact with all of us, just lifts his leg and pisses on the door. And walks away looking at us. And after like 5-6 paces, turns his head and just walks off. And my dad just goes out of nowhere, stands up, chair scoots across the wood floor, and you just hear that burp as it barks.
Yeah.
The chair does, as it scrapes across, and he goes, "That's it. Either the dog leaves or I do," and walked out of the room. Out of nowhere. Where was his animosity to the dog? And in my head, because it was a broadside, I didn't know. I'm in 6th grade. I was like, well, fuck you then.
Right.
Like, you can leave, man. The dog did nothing. I love that dog. I was so offended and pissed off simultaneously, instantly in that moment.
The dog never yelled at me.
Yeah.
The dog never spanked me.
Never did anything. Dog doesn't give me rules. He just loves me. That's all he does. Fuck you. Which I don't know. That's it. Either the dog leaves or I do. Like, what? What the fuck happened here? My mom, he got up, walked out of the room, walked upstairs, and my mom, after 10 seconds, was just like, and said something. I don't even remember what. She just ran off to talk to him and console him because she knew the shit he was dealing with.
Right.
She wasn't mad. He said it. She went up to be like, let's fucking, throw some water on these flames. Let's cool this down. Direct the lava somewhere else. Let's try and do something here.
Here's some paper towels. Clean up the mess. I'm going to go talk to your
collateral
father.
damage. Daddy's not really mad. I don't know what it was. Just ran off like, okay.
Brilliant. All right, so that was your number. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Mrs. Doubtfire, Daniel.
Oh, so that was a punt from earlier. Right on, man.
Because what makes him so daddish to me is like the fun-loving, yes, but it's in the end understanding that you can't be your kid's best friend.
Yep.
And it sucks because that's all you want to be in life.
Of course.
Sometimes all the things that I resented just 2 seconds ago when I was in 6th grade at my dad, there's a reason for rules. There's a reason for law and order. Otherwise, we'd still be flinging shit at each other in the jungle somewhere kind of thing.
Chaos.
Yeah. And that, like, yes, you can have the love that you're exhibiting in the beginning, but the growth and understanding of, like, I need to be a more guiding force for them and show them right from wrong, as opposed to always wanting to just be their buddy and have fun. And you got to work a job that you don't like because it puts food on the table, and you have to show up to places on time, and you have to do all the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because that's adulthood when you have 3 kids.
Oh my God.
And the oldest is is one of the Lawrence brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how old do you think he is in that one? Like 13?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, maybe 14.
Yeah.
Almost to like manhood. He's mature enough to understand what a dad is truly supposed to be.
Yes.
He's not supposed to be my buddy at all times. So does the middle daughter, and then eventually the youngest realizes it too.
Yeah.
And that
Mara
just
Wilson.
Plus, Robin Williams is a guy that I was like, that'd be a great dad.
Yeah.
He seems like he'd be an awesome dad.
Well, also the lengths he goes to spend time with his children. Look, I get it. He is violating the court order. I get it. If you want to look at it through other prism or other eyes, he is doing...
But not maliciously.
No, right, exactly. He just wants to spend time. He misses his kids. He loves his kids.
Outside of throwing the fruit at the back of Pierce Brosnan's head.
The run-by fruiting?
Yeah.
The run-by fruiting. Yeah, but he's a jerk. Pierce is kind of a jerk, so he's too pretty for Sally Field. He's too pretty.
But he also doesn't like, you're moving in on my wife.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. He's like, she's too pretty for Sally.
Yeah, and he's grown up in a culture that nannies, as far as I know as an American, seems like there are a decent number of nannies in England still.
Yeah, exactly.
At least in Brosnan's era, like his generation might have been the last that consistently had nannies.
Right.
I don't know. It's something I associate with them. So he knows he can be dismissive because they're the hired help. They're the servant.
Exactly. But all the interactions he has as Mrs. Doubtfire are just incredible. Very funny. All the jokes that he makes, of course, and Harvey Fierstein being his brother or helping him do it. I think it's his brother in the movie, helping him like do the makeup and stuff and look like, dude, when he spins around looking like Barbara Streisand, I lost my shit. That was one of the funniest moments in that movie. But then at the end, like he understands, like when he reveals himself and everyone sees who he is, man, it is a painful moment. And I like that the movie doesn't just brush it off. Like you see the interaction with him.
There's a toll.
Yeah, his kids are upset at him. Sally Field is really upset at him at first, and then they have to have that conversation. And you see him understand the lesson, right? And that's what's great about a dad. His version of a dad as well is that the love of his kids superseded everything else. But then he also had to understand, like, you've got to stop being a kid too, and thinking you can have everything you want just because you want it. In life, you have to make compromise. You have to make change, or you have to make changes to get what you need. And you didn't want to. You wanted to stay, in essence, a Peter Pan, which is ironic considering he played Hook.
Yeah, does it later on.
Yeah. You wanted to be a Peter Pan and still have your cake and eat it too, and you can't. Not in real life.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with carrying that innocence through adulthood as best you can, but there are still certain realities that you can't deny yourself of.
Yeah.
And you've been doing it for, I don't know, early 40s, mid 40 years into your life at that point.
Yeah.
Plus the beauty of, Robin Williams is going to deliver a certain type of comedic performance. You build it within the story, like we were talking about before with doing the makeup and turning it to Barbara Streisand. There was numerous little characters.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of having somebody that talented.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we can get 2 minutes of really good film of just...
Yeah.
Isn't he a Moyle at some point? He does Moyle. Like some sort of... Yeah, like... And then I also learned like some Yiddish to this day from him and a couple other guys on film.
Yeah.
I remember once a buddy of mine, it doesn't matter who he is, and I said schwanz around him, which is slang for, our manhood.
Right.
And he was like, you know what schwanz is? And I was like, yeah, I picked it. I can't remember which movie I picked that up in, but every once and again. Or like an old yenta or this, or like just certain things that describe an action or a person so well.
Yeah.
But a moil, I didn't know. I had to look that up.
That's great.
As opposed to like him as Genie, you can have the Genie pop in and be all these different things that Williams can go off and do. And within this, just like, wow.
Yeah.
Let's have them make up to have, 5 characters, 6 characters. I bet you they shot 20 of them and they just picked their favorite 5.
I'm sure. Somewhere there's like tons of footage of Robin Williams. Great stuff. Yeah, exactly. All right, my number 4?
Yeah, you're number 4.
Atticus Finch, To Kill a Mockingbird.
See, that is called a massive punt.
Well. All right, what's your number 3 then?
My number 3 is Marlin from Finding Nemo.
That is my number 3.
Wow, we had 3 at the same spot on this list.
Interesting. I was hesitant to put a second animated creature or character on
I think that's
here.
what bumped Incredibles off.
Okay. Well, I just, like I said, seeing the sequel, put it on there for me. But both of these films, he is so great. Marlin in Nemo and in Finding Dory. just a great Albert Brooks is such a great job.
I'm choosing Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Because that to me is his most dad.
Yeah.
Where it's not only the taken aspect of I need to save my son.
Right.
It's also by the end of it, I need to let him grow up and be himself and become a man.
Right.
And he's got to navigate the world on his own because I can't be there at all times. And I just learned a painful lesson in that.
Yeah.
So I got to allow him to grow up and become whoever he's going to be.
Yeah, and all the things he goes through to try to do that, to try to save his kid and then have that moment, all the adventures he goes on. Because he struggles with his own stuff because he is afraid because his wife was killed, right? The kid's mother was killed and Nemo's mother was killed. And so he's afraid it'll happen to him to his son. So he overprotects his son. And then the son, in kind of a moment of rebellion, swims away to see what there is and then gets caught up and blah, blah. So then he has to do what he has to do. And he deals with the Dory situation and the memory stuff, the turtles, the crabs, all the difficult things that he goes through to try to get there, and then eventually finds his son. And he doesn't give up. Even when it looks like he could give up, and he's maybe even possibly considering it, he still soldiers on and pushes through because of the love of his son. And then when he gets to his son, you're right. He's like this idea of wanting to still be in control of him, and his son has to be the one that says, "No, Dad, you gotta let me
I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this.
You have to, and I need you to believe that right now. I can do this."
Yeah. And every dad has that moment, I think.
I like picking up the lessons along the way from the sea turtles.
Yeah.
Where the one flies off and Marlin starts to freak out and he's like, "Hey, bro." He's got to figure it out and get back on his own. And if he doesn't, I can go and save him.
Right.
But this is a lesson that he needs to learn, and he needs to learn that life isn't always scary, even if it seems like it in the moment.
Yeah.
Stuff can fly at you pretty fast, but as long as you take a step back and assess the situation, you can handle almost anything life throws at you. Almost.
Yep.
There are certain moments that it's insurmountable for all of us.
Right.
Whether or not, it's some life and death situation or it's an emotional moment or whatever the case is. But you got to figure out what you can and can't do in this life.
Yeah.
And just to learn that along the way in such an easily teachable moment.
Yeah. Through the whole thing.
And the fact of the matter is Marlin could easily end up like the mom in Carrie, because when you protect someone too much from the world, that then scars that individual because they're not properly socialized in how to live.
Right.
How to be a person.
Yep.
You've been too sheltered. You think certain things need to be X, Y, and Z when it's just not even remotely the case.
Yeah.
Because you weren't allowed to intermingle with the rest of the weirdos.
Right.
You got to get out here with the inmates to figure out what is permitted behavior and what isn't.
Very true.
So if you protect too much, you can damage that person or that child even worse.
Yep. Agreed.
And the progression of that within a simple children's movie that the kids even walk away from going, understanding the parable that's being taught.
Yep, exactly. And by some parents too.
Yeah.
Who watch it and
Hopefully.
go, I should maybe I shouldn't hold on so tight.
Hopefully, this was illuminating for everybody.
Yeah.
Imagine more so for anybody that has their one kid.
Yeah.
Because you overprotect that first one, and then the second one lessens, and the third one lessens.
Yep.
And over time, you get to 7, 8, you don't even give a shit the last one. I've seen kids bounce off cars, go crazy. I've seen the last kid in that long succession of kids, and that kid is just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to because the parents they're tired.
They just give up,
and they've also seen all these other ones survive all kinds of stuff and be like, he'll be fine.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 2 then?
My number 2 is Professor Henry Jones.
Oh, nice choice. Not on my list, man. Interesting choice.
Always going to make the list.
Wow. All right.
You know what?
I got to hear this case.
Always should make the list.
Oh, please. Go ahead.
Indiana Jones is in the discussion for my favorite character within film.
Respect.
So this is the person that basically helped form something that I love. And you see that the mirror of it back where when they're having the discussion in Indiana, they're sitting on that Zeppelin. And he was like, we never sat down. We never talked like a regular blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's one way to do it. And the other one is to teach you self-reliance. Mm-hmm. Did I give you this? No, I allowed you to grow, expand, do these, bro. I treated you like an adult because that's what I want. I want to be left to my own devices, and so long as you don't fuck up, I will continue to allow you to do that and to be mature so long as you act mature and stuff. It's a different aspect of it, but what clinches it for the dad is his growth by the end when he's saying Junior and he switches to Indiana.
Yeah, right at the end, yeah.
And the crystallizing moment of that cuts through the chatter of everything else. The world is literally shearing beneath him.
Yeah.
And divides his attention and steals it away from him being selfish and him realizing what's the greater stake here. Yes, you would get that, but you want to live. I want to live with you. You want to live with me. You want to move on. You have more to see of this life.
Right.
Move on. Plus, you already drank, so technically you're going to live forever. So what are you being greedy about? You helped me as well.
Right.
You're killing yourself for what?
Yeah.
You're just so sucked in by the enamor of this and the gold and whatnot. And it's like El Dorado. It sucked you into the jungle, and you've now the bloodlust. It's your precious.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill you. But that, when he realizes that I can't relate to him as the dad anymore, I need to treat him like a friend.
Yeah.
Everything Robin Williams is so eager to do,
Yeah.
Henry Jones needs to learn, like, I do respect you as a person. This is me as a person reaching out, not as your father, as someone that is amazed at who you've become.
Yeah.
And realizes you're more than an equal. You surpass me in so many different things. Fuck, man. What are you doing right now? Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana, not Junior, not I'm talking down to you. I'm talking to you as an equal. It just, that to me, walking out, when it goes into the sunset, I remember my mom took the three of us, me, my older brother, and younger sister, and afterwards that lived in my imagination. So I was singing that song for days. I kept replaying that, like, just off into the sunset was such a beautiful way to end that movie. It cemented it as like, fuck, I love this series.
Yep.
This is probably my all-time favorite trilogy just because I love Indiana Jones so much.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 and 3. I still like Temple of Doom a lot.
Yeah.
I'll defend it.
That's all you.
But 1 and 3 to me that was my childhood.
Absolutely.
It's that in Star Wars, but Indiana Jones, because I could have been him, has always resonated more with me.
Yeah.
The fantasy of potentially being Han Solo was, very powerful, but the reality more crystallized it for me. So for that, Henry Jones, that was another dad aspect. It's not like this guy that is my best friend. It's so relatable. It's someone who's distant and becomes close.
Right.
That's something that I think my dad and I share. He was more authoritarian when I was younger, and now, like, my wife and brother-in-law can't imagine him as other than this sweet, gentle old man.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with my dad. My dad was such an asshole growing up. Like, he was so, not he was a mean guy. My dad was just very hard edged and disciplined, and he was emotional. He had outbursts all the time. He would get in fights on the phone with people who were calling to try to do shit. And so it was that. And then when he got diabetes, he became like a completely different person. Like, the dad that I'd always wanted all of a sudden showed up. It was so weird. And if I'd had kids, I imagine my kids would have been like, "What are you talking about? He's the sweetest guy in the world." And I'd be like, "You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know the whoopings I took."
Yeah, man. We had this discussion a week ago.
Oh, yeah?
With, Catherine and my brother.
Yeah.
His name's Ryan, and they were like, I just can't even picture. And my sister and I are just going, he's changed.
Yeah.
He has changed.
Yeah, we just get older. We fucking settle down. That's what happens, man.
Well, we're grown.
Yeah, exactly.
So now his job is done. So he's just like, I can sit back. Like, you're adults. You're fine. You're healthy. Everything's good. I don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now our relationship has changed. I don't have to be like keeping you on the straight and narrow.
Right.
You got to do that on your own, and you seem to be doing it. So good for you. Keep doing it.
All right. So then my number 2 is Vito Corleone in The Godfather.
I couldn't do it.
Okay, fair. I couldn't do Henry Jones because Indiana complains about him through the whole movie.
He does.
And he's kind of an absentee dad. And he's that in the beginning when he's putting his finger up to dismiss Indiana when Indiana's coming in from the train.
But he's so focused on his work. My dad worked a lot as a kid. I'm not saying he ever did that to me.
Right.
But there were times you're just like, you know what? My dad's got to go read for 2 hours now, so don't disturb him.
Yeah. Well, with for me, Vito Corleone, the reason I chose it is because he does provide for his family. And you never see him be an overtly mean guy, unfair guy, unjust guy. What he does through both Godfather 1 and Godfather 2, with De Niro playing him obviously as a younger version, and then Brando in Godfather, you see that he has a genuine love for his children and his wife. A lot of respect for his wife, genuine love for his kids. Yeah, he loves his family, takes care of his family. He's negotiating deals to work with to make sure his family's taken care of, and when Michael gets involved in the stuff, he doesn't want Michael to go down this path. He wanted Michael to be a lawyer, be all these kinds of things, and unfortunately Michael went the path that he went. And then with Sonny too, like he tried to get Sonny, tried to calm him down, tried to get him on the straight and narrow. Sonny wouldn't listen. He brings in Tom Hagen off the street. Sonny found him on the street, and Vito adopts him as a surrogate son.
Yeah.
And then you have, of course, Fredo is Fredo, and he did his best with Fredo. And then you have Connie, and he does. So he was very much involved in all their lives, trying to make sure their lives were taken care of, trying to make sure they were raised right, all that kind of jazz. And so that's what I like about him. And then even more so when you're seeing Godfather Part 2, how he treats the community, almost like a pseudo father as well, making sure like that lady who was going to get kicked out for the higher rent, messing with the landlord, and making sure that landlord treats her well. All these things that he does, he's a good man. And when he gets revenge for what happened to his mom and his dad, he gets revenge correctly and in the right amount of ferocity. And I love that about him. So for me, he is a dad in that way, like old school dad. Like, my dad and I, that's the reason we watch Godfather every Christmas, because I always saw my father in The Godfather, and so it was great to share that with him in both those movies. So for me, that's why I like it.
I mean, it was tough. It's on my honorables.
Yeah.
Along with like another one that is on Mike Sullivan from Road to Perdition.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately,
that's a good one. They're
bad individuals, so that aspect of their dadhood to me kind of it doesn't sully, but it's I don't know. Vito's like, but he is still a mafia don, which means he's killed a lot of people.
We never see it.
We don't.
So that's why. But that's my cop out.
He talks about the importance of family, and when he realizes that Michael is going to end up like him, and it destroys him because he doesn't. He wants his son to be better than him.
Yep.
And that was like a tough. Yeah. That's a dad. A dad always wants, I want you to stand on my shoulders so you can elevate above me.
Well, that's what he says to him. I never want any of this for you.
Yeah.
I want you to be senator.
Senator Corleone.
Yeah. And that's a real
Governor
thing.
Corleone.
Oh, Governor, yeah. Something better than him.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted,
Like I had to get down in the gutter so you didn't.
Exactly. And I think I relate to that because my dad was, my dad came to this country as an immigrant and legally and did
Sandinista sleeper.
Yeah, shut up.
We've established that. I can see why on Christmas you guys would watch The Godfather every year. Do you guys have your own omerta?
That's right.
It's a ceremony between you.
Absolutely. Kiss his ring finger. But no, because he's an immigrant, came to this country. He worked shit jobs for a majority of his life to put food on the table, put a roof over our heads, and put clothes on our backs because he wanted us to be better. He afforded education for me and my brother and my sister. My brother's a computer science engineer. My sister does forensics, and I'm doing what I'm doing. And so those are those kind of things. We all have that, but he always instilled in us a level of respect for education and intelligence, because he didn't have access to it when he was younger. Mm-hmm. And so for him, it was a really big deal. So he always wanted us to be better than what he was, you know? And so that's the thing the central theme in that movie that really relates.
Yeah. And Vito, as much as he is wallowing in the muck, he's doing it from the seemingly most virtuous side that you can.
Yes, exactly.
And that gets shown more in Godfather 2, when De Niro takes over the part for those earlier on. Like, he steps in to take over for a guy that is exploiting people.
Yes.
And stops that.
Right.
And you could say that he could be one of those characters of he never gave anybody protection until they needed it, and thereafter then they had to pay him protection.
Exactly.
And he became their...
Because that's tradition.
Yeah. But he didn't... You could maybe... I don't recall them ever showing him inflict the need of protection on anybody.
That's
showing up going, you owe me
$300
for being in my neighborhood.
Right.
As opposed to, I can... Look, if you want me to do it, but then you have to pay me to do it forever. Kind of thing.
The closest he came to a threat was with Michael when he's coming back from Italy. When he says, if anything happens to but I'm a selfish man. I have a son who's, if anything happens to my boy, then I'm going to blame some of the people in this room. That's as close to a threat as he ever got in any of the movies. And it's really incredible in both of those movies how he's at. Whereas Michael was not such a good dad. All right. All right, so our number ones are obviously punts from earlier.
Yeah, my number one is Atticus Finch.
And my number one is George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. So,
2 excellent movies.
Yes, very good. Very well so. Very well so.
Atticus Finch is, when, like I said before, you know, our dad is our God. On some level, Atticus Finch is like who I think of as my dad.
Wow. Okay. Respect.
Well, just like the studious, moralistic individual that has a calm demeanor.
Yeah.
And
even though he's yelling at the dog, most of the time he has calm demeanor.
The one time, my dad...
The dog or me.
I have moments, as boisterous as I may sound on this, I'm a quiet person.
Yeah, Matt Knost is definitely that.
I am.
Yeah.
But you turn to like, this is
negative.
This is a show. This is, it's a different switch in my head, and I enjoy it in the spark of the moment, and it ends, and I like to be introspective and think and stuff like that. And I get that from my dad, and he does it even more, so much so that it took my wife, I keep telling her, I guess since it's family, it's easy to relate, and she's experienced it now. But it took her like 3 years to get used to. Sometimes you're on my dad and he doesn't talk for a half hour. Just doesn't say anything.
That's weird.
But he's having a great time.
Yeah.
He's not enjoying himself. He's he's in his head thinking about whatever. And she's like, one time we were just unloading a dishwasher together and we didn't say shit. Usually talk offhandedly.
Sure. Small talk.
Yeah, just little things here and there. Yeah. And it was just like, I'll hand you this. You know where it goes. And I can just do this. And I'm helping, and it's good. And
I'm still having this experience with you.
Yes.
Even though I'm not saying anything, we're still sharing this experience. And I don't have to do this.
And being my dad, instead of in this moment just sitting on my butt somewhere, I'd rather be helpful. Do something positive in this moment. Right. And Atticus Finch is that to me.
Yeah.
Standing up in the face of society, throwing it in his way, and everybody else is going, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to treat these people as equals. We can just blame them for whatever in the world we want to, any kind of claim that you want to. No one's going to stand up for them because they're not an equal citizen in over half the citizenry's eyes on some level.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't imagine living in an America that's the case, where it's just an open secret.
Yeah.
That by law we may have to agree upon certain things, but deep down I don't believe that, and we can still subvert the law whenever we want to because we're the ones that write it.
Yeah.
So we can all agree on face, but we don't have to in principle or execution.
Right.
And the fact that this book and movie came out at a time of just like, no, there needs to be ideals, and it doesn't have to be a white character, a black character. You could spin this in any which way. It's just about a good person, and he's trying to teach that to his 2 kids.
Yeah.
Just to show
through this
case.
Yeah.
And I will stand up to the ridicule and whatnot because that is nothing compared to what this gentleman has to stand in front of.
Yeah.
It's just like, life isn't fair, but maybe I can help make it fair.
Yeah, that's the thing that's interesting. And I've had my moments about Atticus Finch with Gregory Peck's, because there is no arc necessarily for Atticus Finch. He's always on the right side of this issue the whole time in the movie.
Sure.
And I enjoy that about him, and he does teach his kids. And man, one of the greatest moments in film history one of the greatest scenes is when the black actor looks at his daughter and says, "Stand up, your
father's passing."
Yeah, father's passing. That moment is so powerful because it speaks to the black people that are there. They have respect for him standing up for them, him fighting for a member of their community, right? But her not needing to, in her mind, I don't have to stand up because it's my dad, blah, blah, blah. But he's letting her know, he may be your father, but you need to also recognize how important he is. And that's
show him
incredible.
Respect.
Show him the respect. Exactly.
The man has earned all of our respect by doing the simple and yet hard thing.
Yep. And he's taught you that, and you have to respect him for that as well. Yeah.
And you hopefully understand why he taught you that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's inspirational to an entire community, whether or not that community realizes, at least however large that percentage that doesn't like the outcome, in time, through generations.
Yeah.
You can move a boulder, but you got to do it 1 inch at a time.
Right. Right.
And society is slow to change, but you can do it, and we all have to do our part to nudge it in the right direction. You're not going to change it overnight, as much as people want to bitch and moan and complain and whatnot. Sometimes society isn't.
Yeah.
But you might be able to help nudge it in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
These are all battles, but there's a greater war.
Yeah, yeah. And, it's a great portrayal.
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't bother me that he doesn't grow because
it's not his purpose in the movie, though.
It isn't.
No, it's her purpose to grow.
The purpose is the audience that's watching this to grow.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah, agree with you, man.
All right, so
Yep, George Bailey, man. What can I tell you? I love It's a Wonderful Life. Matt's only seen it once. I've seen it like maybe 500 million times, and so it's just a film that I come back to all the time because of he is a guy who has the world at his feet just as he's about to enter into college age, and everything gets taken from him in essence because of situations, because of his father passing, and then his brother wanting to go to college, and then his brother getting married, and he's constantly set upon. But he's still, very devoted to his wife in the movie when they eventually get together, Donna Reed, and then how he is with his kids. He loves his kids. Zuzu, all that's like he's very good with his kids. He's providing. He's working a job he doesn't 100% like, but he is in essence the father of the town. Yeah. He's taking his father's spot because he has to be, right? Exactly. And how many people find themselves in these situations, or how many people did at that time and still do sometimes here in our world now, who find themselves because of circumstance, they're in this position that they're in. They're working this job. They're working because there are bigger things at stake more than them, right? And that's what I love about George Bailey. George Bailey is initially he's willing to fight against the system and be the guy who stands out. And he has his moments of frustration when he kicks that door, when Sam Wainwright comes, and when they're giving Giuseppe his house. He has the frustration that he can't go with Sam in his nice car, and he kicks the door of his car that doesn't quite work. So there's these moments of frustration, but he has these great moments also when Donna's having the children, when all that stuff is happening between them. He's still very much happy about it, and he's crowing, he's walking with newspapers, and he's got all that kind of jazz, and he's very happy. It isn't until later where he starts to have a little bit of a crisis about the future, because of his kids, because of his family, that he thinks I should die because I'm better off dead than alive, because I am a burden to my family. I'm a burden to my family because I'm going to go to jail. They're going to be shamed, all this kind of stuff. So he'd rather sacrifice himself.
Destroy the town.
Yeah, he'd rather sacrifice himself than have his family endure that kind of stuff. And then he goes on this journey, and he has to realize how important who he is to the community, to his family, to the community itself, rather, and his family. And that is one of the most important lessons you can ever learn: is every life is precious. And his journey of it as a dad through the whole movie, I think, is really, really powerful for me. That's why he stands out the way. And he has that journey.
That's true. The journey does help kind of cement him as a dad, in that the growth of the individual, and realize that the impact that you've had. Like, you could look at it through the prism of, here's when he was being put upon, here's what I lost.
Yeah.
But if you take a step back, it's like, actually, but what did you gain from that?
Right.
And you gained a deeper family, or a deeper bond with community, and all these fruitful and worthwhile relationships.
Yeah.
And potentially a side chick in New York. He did all right by himself.
Yeah, he did all right.
Floated a couple bills. Hey, take care of you.
Yeah, but she came back. She put the bills back on.
Violet
came back. Just saying. I changed my mind, George. I'm not going to New York.
It's interesting that he just floated her some cash out of nowhere, the one girl that had been flirting with him.
They have a long history together. But yeah, so in the end, I just enjoy him as a dad and what he has to do and what he goes through and what he learns. It's a great journey, man. All right, well, that's our separate top 10 lists. Do we put this together and then we read his list?
Yeah, we do ours and then the shows, and then we'll compare the shows to his, I guess.
I think you're banging this time, right? Because I banged last time.
You banged last time.
All right.
So
here are the bongos, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, let's put this thing together. I'm going to type, right? Is that correct?
You are going to type.
Okay.
Where did you have Atticus?
I had it at 4.
Well, that means old Addy is in the single, the one spot.
I think you did it on purpose. I think you knew.
How did I know that you were going to have George Bailey? I figured you would actually have Atticus higher.
No, please. All right, so then Atticus Finch, George Bailey. And then what do we have next? Do you want to move?
We got Marlon Common at 3.
Okay, so we should do that. Marlon.
Would you have at 2 again?
Vito Corleone.
Vito Corleone, which I don't have, and then I got Henry Jones at 2, and you don't have.
Right. I feel since Atticus is first, I feel like Vito should come next.
Well, that's because of the show, the dynamics of the rules of the show. Now, this is a tete-a-tete between the two of us. Now the playing field, the battlefield is even.
Why do you change the rules on every episode? I swear to God.
It is not. I'm saying at this point, the argument.
Yeah.
Look, old Henry.
Yeah, old Henry, yes.
Isn't potentially at fault for hundreds of deaths.
Listen, first of all, that's a fantasy you're making up in your mind.
Edict, action, hand, however you want to look at it. He did not kill scores of individuals.
Neither did Vito.
For money, political gain, power.
None of those things happened.
None of those things happened?
None of those things happened.
He just had a huge house out on Long Island or wherever that was?
He made deals. He was a businessman. He made deals. All I know is that he wasn't an absentee dad that built up anger toward that his son
created the world's greatest
anger towards him.
archaeologist of all time.
Yeah, but
he didn't create a monster
himself.
worse than himself.
He created
which is what he did to Michael Corleone. He created a monster worse than himself. Which you said earlier.
Wait a second.
Which you said because
I
where
did say
Michael
that.
ends up is a worse place than who Vito is.
Well,
he did not learn the moral, so Vito failed as a father to impart what virtue he had.
All I know is that
That's a failing of a
he
father.
didn't pass on the absentee dad thing.
That's a failing. Of
Like Indiana Jones did. Hey, Mutt.
Andy,
I have a kid.
Andy didn't
I
know.
didn't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know where he's got a
Marion's
kid.
not going to tell him because he's a just like his dad.
That's being
he's
put
never
upon.
home.
That's being put upon.
You put 100
But he
deaths on
turns
Vito.
and then becomes a father figure to Shia LaBeouf.
Eventually, yeah.
Yes, within the course of like 2 days' time.
Yeah, when it's convenient for him.
Vito created a guy that
Vito, first of all, did not create Michael. Michael
he did.
was good. Then the people tried to kill Vito.
nature
then
and
Michael
nurture,
turned
it's
back.
either Vito's fault. Either way.
Well-
nature, so it's either the genes or the way he was raised.
You can say
It's
what
a
you-
combination of the two, done by old Vito.
Yeah,
They
but what
created
happens?
Michael Corleone.
Michael becomes even bigger than Vito.
Yes, and a
Right.
much bigger shitbag as far as we can tell.
First of all, Vito's not a shitbag, but Michael does become a shitbag. But that's not on Vito. At some point after 21, 25 years old, you're responsible for your own shit.
Yeah, but you created that shit.
No. You can't say. Well, then by the same story, you say you created Indiana Jones, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
world's greatest archaeologist who
That's,
saved numerous
that's a matter of
treasures. and
opinion. He's stealing treasures from the indigenous
saving them from
peoples,
Nazis,
from the-
man.
No,
Nazis would have gotten the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. So giving their army infinite power
Yeah.
and they never die.
You know-
he saved us from a
He's-
Nazi regime that lasted for all generations.
you know he's useless in the movie. You can have he does nothing to stop anything from happening
I'm not
in the
even
whole
going to touch
movie.
that because you're saying the usefulness of Michael Corleone is killing people, and that's somehow better
No,
utility in life.
I'm not saying
that's the
that.
usefulness
I'm
of it.
saying that he doesn't have a movie where he's irrelevant to the movie. Indiana Jones is irrelevant.
How is
to
he
his
irrelevant to the movie?
He's everything that's going to happen happens anyway.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
He finds Alexandretta because he finds the first Templar knight, and he gets the shield, and only he finds
Right, so he
that.
doesn't stop the Nazis from getting anything. They get everything they were
never-
going for.
Yes, he ultimately
But then
stopped them.
they
They didn't get the Holy Grail. They didn't get the Ark of the
They
Covenant.
did get the argument. They just
Well,
opened it.
Yeah, but he was wiser by that third one. There's growth of the character.
The third one.
There's growth within the character.
All I'm telling you is in
Michael
Raiders
just
of the Lost
becomes
Ark-
worse over time. That's all that happens.
Raiders of the
That is
Lost Ark,
all
he
that
doesn't-
happens.
Yeah, well-
Michael becomes. I'm just saying, if do you want a father to create Satan or to create the angel or the devil on your shoulder?
Look,
Yours created the devil, mine created the angel. That's all I'm
look,
saying.
I'm just telling you, that's a matter of perspective. Because he took care of his kids. He took care of his kids and handled his business. At least, and he is an absentee
you
father
got a
like
point on
Indiana
you because
Jones.
we're gonna do this
What are you
back and
talking
forth.
about? Atticus was first. I should logically get the next one.
I think within the context of the show, because
Yes,
you had it at 4.
we're talking about the context of the
and
show.
I had Bailey at 5. That's why that worked
Well,
against
that's how it works. And so you get your Atticus. I get my Vito.
the show created the Atticus. Now we are creating number 3.
Well, I am creating number 4 actually, which is Vito.
That's because Marlon went to number 3.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. I think that's the fair.
I don't have a coin. I don't think it's fair at all.
How is that not fair?
Because you're saying it's okay to be absentee dad, which is what Henry Jones was.
You're saying it's okay to be fucking Joey Gallo.
These are-
to be Meyer
who's Joey
Lansky,
Gallo? No,
to
none of those
be
guys. None of those guys.
To Lucky Luciano.
We don't
to
see
be
any of that in the movies. He's a good guy in
please.
the entire time.
The older Jewish guy in 2 is straight based on Meyer Lansky.
Yeah,
He's
well,
straight based
yeah.
on
But I'm
Meyer
saying
Lansky.
Vito is a good. He's a good Don.
The Joey Bonanno.
Joe Bonanno, yeah.
I think it's Joey Bonanno.
But Vito doesn't do any of that shit.
I don't have any fucking coins on me.
That's because you shouldn't have a coin.
I've got so many out in the car. It's ridiculous.
Just accept the loss, man. Just let me have this.
Fucking. I'm flipping my license in the air.
No, that doesn't work.
Call it heads or tails.
I'm not agreeing with this.
If I do it once and it works, will you accept?
Fine. It's the heads. It doesn't work.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Heads. It
was tails.
It was tied, so we do the next one.
Okay.
All right. Are you calling it or am I calling it?
Go ahead. I'll give it to you.
All right.
Ready?
Heads. Son of a bitch.
Yes, baby.
Sucks.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
that is gorgeous. That was Schrodinger's a license flip right there, and unfortunately,
bullshit. Henry Jones
we
is
studied the
absentee
outcome,
father.
so now we know the answer to that
He
question.
didn't give a shit about his son, and he gave some bullshit
Vito
excuse on the
Corleone
Zeppelin.
created a monster worse than himself.
Well, if you say so.
Monster worse than himself.
A lot of out of wedlock children all roaming around with Dr. Jones, and he sleeps with Elsa, who his son slept with. This is a dirty old man.
You don't think Vito and Michael had side chicks on top of side chicks?
Not the same side chicks.
You never know.
I know.
How do you know?
What's in the movie is what's in the movie.
I saw some they steal glances at each other when certain people walk in the room. There were little subtle acting things that they did. Look gorgeous.
Now you're just making it up. All right, what's your next one? Or should we move everybody up to Descendants? Should we do Descendants next with George Clooney?
I think that's the highest common because I got. Yeah. Where do you have Doubtfire again? It's low, isn't it?
Doubtfire is number 8 for me. Yeah.
Okay, I got that at 4. Okay. Where do you have Descendants?
6.
Yeah, let's do Descendants next.
Okay, and then what's next?
I got Doubtfire at 4. Do you have anything higher than 4?
Yeah, I have. No, not higher than 4.
Okay.
Chevy Chase is what I have next. Is Vacation Movies at 5.
All right. Well, you want to give me Doubtfire because I got.
What do you have Doubtfire 4?
I got it at 4, and I got Chevy at 9.
Yeah.
So we'll go Doubtfire, then.
Now we can work in the constructs of the show. Okay.
Well, because we have offsetting numbers, and we didn't agree.
Fair enough.
Listen,
right.
You just lost.
1, 2, 3, 4,
you're pissed.
5,
You lost
6,
the flip.
I am pissed. All right, we're at number 9. So number 9 is what now?
Do we have anything else in common? Taken.
No, what was your number 4? What was Mrs. Doubtfire was the one you had? Oh, okay. So Clooney, then Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Clooney,
okay. Doubtfire, then Clark Griswold.
Oh, so Clark Griswold. Okay, and then Taken is 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Done.
Because those are all the ones we have in common thereafter.
All right. Do we need character names or do we care? We'll just say the movies.
Go ahead. Doesn't matter.
All right.
You're the one that wrote it down.
Yeah. All right.
Let me reset this.
Oh shit! Don't break it, man. Oh, nice. Look at you. All right.
You ready?
The top 10 dads in movies, yeah.
And number 10.
I really hate how good you are on that fucking thing. All right, Clark Griswold.
You do it like this. It's much easier.
Wait, no. Oh, sorry. Let's start again. Sorry. All right. Number 10. All right, go ahead.
And number 10.
Liam Neeson in Taken.
And number 9.
Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase in the Vacation series.
Coming in at number 8.
Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
And number 7.
George Clooney, The Descendants.
Coming in at number 6.
Vito Corleone in The Godfather. Wait, is that right? Wait, hold on a second. Oh, shit, we need one more.
Well, we need one more?
So I will cut this part out. Don't sweat it. I will cut this part out.
Let's leave it in.
No. It's better if we cut it. It's better for the show. If we cut
Okay, that's fine. I don't mind showing flaws.
I know you don't.
Okay.
Last week it was fun. This time I want to get it right because it infuriates the fans. Atticus Finch 1, Bailey 2, and I'm going to cut all this out. So 3, Marlon Flanagan, 4, Henry Jones, 5, Vito Corleone, right? 6, Clooney, 7, Doubtfire, 8, Griswold, 9, Liam Neeson. So we have a 10. I should get the 10.
I'm sorry. Can you give me 4, 5, and 6 again?
Yes. Henry Jones, Vito Corleone, and George Clooney.
Okay.
Descendants. Mrs. Doubtfire.
What's your next highest left?
Mr. Incredible. Oh, did we put Marlon in? Oh, yeah, Marlon Flanagan. Okay. Mr. Incredible is my next one.
At what number?
7. What do you have next?
Okay, I've got Cooper from Interstellar at 7.
No. I already lost one. I'm not losing again. Mr. Incredible should be number 10.
Boy, I really want to fight you right now. But,
You got the last one.
You lost on a flip, my friend. Do you want to flip again?
No.
Do you want? You can flip it this time, and I'll call.
No. I'm not losing twice in the same show.
Yeah, but statistically, what are the odds of that?
No. Now I'm going to keep this whole thing in. Now I'm keeping this whole thing in.
You should just keep it in. You should. Do you want to make more work for yourself? You don't. You don't. Who cares? We read over the list. We're prone to make mistakes. Remember the time that I left Philadelphia off the combined list? God. And it was like my number 4 or 3 or something?
It was. I loved it.
Yeah, and it was like, fuck it. We're too late now. And we just kept going, man. Barrel through. Yeah, screw it.
Come on. You got Atticus in number 1.
There are mistakes
you
in
got
life.
Henry Joseph above Vito. Come on.
All right,
Mr.
fine.
Incredible. Yeah,
Fine.
good. Thank you. Thank you for being
Really think we should do another flip.
Thank you for being a good dad.
I'm just going to do a one-off, and let's see how your fate would have been.
Okay.
Call it in the air, but it's already decided.
It's already decided.
It's already decided. Call it in the air.
Call it in.
Ready?
Yeah, throw it. Hey, tails. See?
You would
I made the right
you would have lost.
I made the right
Although I don't know if I would have counted that because it hit me in the chair and It's like it invalidates it in my eyes.
Start over. Are we ready?
Yeah, and that's me. All right, you ready?
Yes, I am now. The top 10 dads in movies, yeah.
Oh, let me reset the mic.
Oh, yeah.
And number 10.
Craig T. Nelson as Mr. Incredible in The Incredibles.
And number 9.
Liam Neeson, Taken.
And number 8.
Chevy Chase as Clark Griswold in the Vacation series.
7.
Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
And 6.
George Clooney in The Descendants.
Coming in at number 5.
Vito Corleone in The Godfather.
At number 4.
Dr. Henry Jones in the Indiana Jones series.
At 3.
Marlon in Finding Nemo.
At number 2.
George Bailey, James Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life.
And finally, our number 1 movie dad is
Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yay, Bongos. Thank you, Jay Goldknife.
There you go. Thank you, Jay. That's right, Jay. Sean Brennan, thanks so much for selecting this topic. Brother, it's a Father's Day topic. I love it. I'm so happy. And Matt and I were both stressed out about trying to come up with this list. So
super hardcore.
Do you want to do some of your honorable mentions? You got like 40 to try to do the best. Like run through them if you can.
I can barrel through all these.
Okay, great.
Jack, Mr. Mom, The Old Man Christmas Story, technically Darth Vader. John
What? He's a terrible dad.
By the third one.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Because he throws the Emperor in. He didn't make my list.
Gotcha.
John Kinsella, Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that was close.
Furious Styles, Boys in the Hood. I haven't seen it in too long. Gru. Daniel from Love Actually. George Henderson from Harry and the Hendersons. Big Daddy from Kick-Ass. Billy Hope, Southpaw. Mike Sullivan, I said. Jean Valjean and Les Miserables. Technically not a dad.
Not a dad.
I was expecting you to try and bring up Armageddon.
Oh, brother, it's on my honorable mentions. I was so close.
Wayne Zabinski from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Larry McPherson from Lady Bird. Everett McGill, Oh Brother. President James Marshall, Air Force One.
Yes.
Siak Wu from Train to Busan.
Train to Busan, that was also close to making my list.
Yeah.
Except he was a jerk from the beginning. So,
Man from the Road. Tom Mullen from Ransom. Roger Murtaugh, Lethal Weapon.
Ooh,
George Kirk, Star Trek.
So, yeah, George Kirk stars. Yeah, dies quickly though.
Still got like 5 more.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Harrison Ford in Air Force One, like you were saying earlier. Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar, absolutely. Roy Scheider in Jaws.
Oh, yeah. That's another one that I didn't say.
It's good. Darren McGavin in Christmas Story, the old man. Ray Kinsella, Kevin Costner's character, Field of Dreams, because he does have his kids, right? But
yeah, that's right, Ray.
So, yeah. And Mac McGuff in Juno, which is the J.K. Simmons role. He does a great job as the dad in that film. Those were my honorable mentions. That's
what does Sean have?
And then I had, Bruce Willis in Armageddon, which was really close. Harry Stamper. Sean Brennan says, can we read his note? His other note that he sent with the list? Is that too
double
far?
in the note.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for choosing this topic. I'm so honored to be a part of this show, even in my own small way. I've been a huge fan of the show since the beginning. And as a huge fan of the show, I cannot wait to see The Horseman wreck house for the foreseeable future. Thank you. Movies were always a huge part of my relationship with my dad and me. When my dad realized I loved movies, my dad showed me all the movies he loved so we had something to share together. I watched Ghostbusters, Die Hard, Major League, Braveheart, and many others with my dad, all before I was 10. When I was 13, I saw There's Something About Mary. I came home and told my dad it was the funniest movie I'd ever seen. He responded by going to Blockbuster, renting Airplane, Animal House, and Blazing Saddles, and we watched all 3 of them in a row. We didn't always see eye to eye on everything, but even when I made choices he wouldn't have made or even thought I could make, he supported them 100%. And even though he is no longer with us, the love he gave me and the lessons he taught me will be with me forever. Thank you, John and Matt, for picking this topic. So in honor of him, here is my list. All right, ready?
Go for it.
Number 10, Daniel in Love Actually. Number 9, George Banks in Father of the Bride. I would have chosen maybe that one if I'd seen any of them. I haven't seen any of the Father of the Bride movies. So
I have. I tried to rewatch it for this.
Okay.
It feels very 1991 or 2 or whenever.
Kind of dated.
Out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, Michael Sullivan in Road to Perdition. Yep. Number 7, Vito Corleone in The Godfather. Number 6.
At 7.
Yeah, all right, fine. Number 6, Bob Parr, The Incredibles. There you go.
Okay.
Number 5, Atticus Finch, To Kill a Mockingbird. Number 4, Daniel Hilliard, Mrs. Doubtfire. Oh, shit, I just saw his number 1. Damn it. Number 3, Christopher Gardner in Pursuit of Happiness. I haven't seen that one, the Will Smith one. I haven't seen it.
I watched it for this.
Okay. Number 2, Marlon in Finding Nemo. Number 1, Henry Jones Sr., Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Look, Sean, you're amongst good company.
Cut it out.
Just know that. Unfortunately, George Bailey did not even make his list.
No, he did not. Sean. No, he did not.
But notice that Atticus, our boy Atticus, still did, baby.
He did.
And Professor
so
Henry Jones.
Sure, and so did Mr. Incredible. So that's a good thing there as
very
well.
True.
Yeah,
very true.
Well, there you go. There's his list. Sean, thank you so much for sending us your list and suggesting the topic again. If you guys want to be part of the top 10 show and suggest a topic, you got to go to. You could be a part of the Boss Hogg level on our Patreon, which is www. Is that enough W's? www. Patreon.com/the top 10 and number 10. See all the multiple tiers there. You can take part of Thunderdome. You can suggest a topic and have it done. We're trying to do one a month to make sure everybody gets their topics heard and read and talked about. So there you go. Those are the things. Anything else I need to add?
Nothing much. Did you fine with this?
Yeah, sure. If you want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Matt, you have an announcement?
We got a couple things coming up.
Mm-hmm.
One is there's a Kickstarter page that should already be up on our Facebook page. One of you out there, his name's Matthew. He's come up on the show before. He has a lovely daughter. We gave her a shout out on the show.
Matthew Hassel.
He started a comic book. He's got a Kickstarter for it and asked if he could throw it up. And we were like, you know what? You're making something creative, different. Yeah. Have fun with it. Good luck to you out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I know Patrick Campbell put up something.
PJ, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a GoFundMe because he was having to pay for some medical bills.
And unfortunately, the dog passed.
Yeah, the dog passed. But,
so,
I didn't
shout out to Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I didn't object to that there. So
if
you guys are out there creating something, put art out into the world, as cliched and terrible as that phrase is, we need a better one.
Yeah.
But the more there is, I think the better there is,
I agree.
So, find it on there. What was the name of it? I think it was something like Sector.
Okay.
Something like Sector.
Okay. Yeah.
No idea what you said. Oh, put the mic up. You couldn't hear me.
Yeah,
sorry about that. Kept moving it around for the bongos and whatnot. And then we got another package.
What? We got another gift?
We got another gift.
That looks small. That looks like there's not enough for two of us.
Look, I'm not judging it because for as small as it is, postage was still a decent amount.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So
that must be a heavy thing.
It is from Diana and Randy Motor.
Oh, Randy Motor.
From Hodgenville, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I like that. You used to have Kentucky Bluegrass. I love me some Kentucky Bluegrass.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I lived in Kentucky, and I don't know if I love me some Kentucky bluegrass.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't mind some banjo. I don't mind, I like some bluegrass, but I can't go 24/7 bluegrass.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, you mean yeah. I'm talking about the actual bluegrass in Kentucky. I'm talking about the actual grass.
Oh yeah,
and not the.
It is weird. There is bluegrass.
Yeah.
That is not a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
that's a legit.
Yep.
I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, son of a gun. That grass is a little bit blue.
Yep.
But here we go. I don't know if there's a note in here.
This is an unboxing in essence.
No idea what it is. Reaching in, pulling out.
Uh-oh.
I got a note.
Oh, you got a note.
And I got 2 other sealed envelopes.
Oh, boy.
Handwritten note. It's very classy.
Thank you so much.
Very legible.
Can you read it?
It says, Dear Matt and John, thank you for all the hours of top 10 that you have given to me.
Yeah.
I also enjoy your NBA discussions immensely.
Oh, thank you.
I am giving you 2 coins from the Dream Team because you both are such fans.
What?
Yeah. Best of everything to you both. Sincerely, Randy Motor.
What?
Dude.
What?
I don't know. Dream Team, baby. Aren't you?
What?
Dream Team. That's what I'm talking about. What do we got?
What do we got?
That's an actual coin. Who you got? I got Magic Johnson.
I got Larry Bird, son.
Dude, that is dope. Are you kidding me?
Randy, that is fantastic.
There's mine. You got the Hick from French Lick?
Yeah.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Look at this.
That is gorgeous.
Wow.
We need a studio to have a wall to start putting all this stuff up on.
I agree.
Slowly but surely.
These are limited edition coins, too. USA Basketball. Wow.
Dude,
I didn't even know they still made these.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Randy, thank you so much. Look, we got that. We got a shirt from Clay. We got mugs from Alejandra.
Yeah.
Jay Goldeneyes gave us the gorgeous bongos.
Wow.
Thank you to everybody, man. These are so nice. We'll take a picture of them.
Absolutely.
And, we'll throw them up on Twitter and Instagram. We need to do that for Alejandra, too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that. You can see it. It sits with my succulents now. That sounds like a Corleone-esque threat. a weird Southwest version of them. It sits with my succulents. That is the weakest thread of all time.
It sits with my succulents. This is incredible. Thank you so much to everyone. Listen, sending us gifts. I don't know what to say. This is a nice development.
I kind of feel guilty for enjoying it so much.
No, why?
I don't know, because the fact that they enjoyment is payment enough on some level to me.
I agree.
But you guys want to send this? I mean, dude, these are excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one you want?
I agree. Yes, it is.
Oh, well, we might have to do a coin because I don't know. I like them both so much.
You like them both?
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt and I are going to decide who gets Magic Johnson, who gets Larry Bird now. Yeah. I want Magic.
I like them both. That's
you
the
like
thing.
Okay.
It's tough to choose.
Where was this coin? Where were these coins when we needed to flip for the?
I know. 2 seconds ago. Never taken it out of this little case it's coming in.
Oh no way! This stays right in the case.
It sits in here at all times.
We might even create a little frame for it. That would be great. Once we get top 10 offices. Once we get the top 10 offices, we'll put this right prominently featured. It's one of the first gifts we ever got.
We'll sink it into the cornerstone of the foundation, like people used to do 250 years ago when they built. And you put something. Right. Of sacred value because you're building a home, a foundation on.
That's right.
Randy and Diana Motor.
Yeah.
From Hodgenville, Kentucky. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dude, this is awesome.
This is incredible. And listen, everyone who sent gifts, thanks so much. Matt, I don't know what we say here.
I don't know because it sounds like we're greedy. Like, oh, thank you. But thank you.
It's very kind.
It's awesome every time. And fucking Dream Team.
Like that's awesome. Hear us talking about basketball and do something like this is great. And thanks for the very sweet note too as well. All right. Anything else we need to say, Matt?
No, T-shirts.
Yeah.
are fucking coming.
Yeah.
They are coming. That is not some BS.
Yeah. You spoke to what's his face and
we spoke to one guy. We've had things sitting and basically we need to formalize a couple business things.
Yep.
And then once that is finished, T-shirts will be up.
Yeah.
We are waiting on the bureaucratic entities, unfortunately. So it's whenever. We've expedited the process, but it's still a bureaucratic entity, and we are waiting on certain things to get passed through certain offices. And then once that is done, you guys will have T-shirts.
And other merch.
Yeah, and all kinds of whatever interesting stuff that you guys want. Yeah. Maybe our own Dream Team-esque coins.
Hey, that'd be great. Oh my God, top 10 Dream.
If we do that, Mr. Motor, I will gladly send you one out of pocket from me this time around. I send you one each of us, and then you and your wife can fight over who gets what coin. If you want John, then you fight for John.
That's right. Great stuff. So thanks, everybody, for listening this week. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/the top 10 show with the number 10, or me on any kind of social media at Matt Knost, MattKnost. And also, there might be, we're working on some changes for the show itself. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say too much, but something is going to come. We're working on that's coming down the pipe. Then that won't change anything except we'll change one thing. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get to it. But
how cryptic can you be, man?
I know. I don't want to say because
it's super vague.
It is super vague. And it's really dumb.
Yeah. It's not. I'm saying it's dumb. It's super vague.
It is super vague. Well, it's basically beyond T-shirts and stuff. We're working on other things.
Just know that we don't sit back on our laurels. No. There's always stuff dancing around with the show that we.
Yeah, we're working hard to bring you this shit 24/7.
That's right. And then get interns at some point someday.
Well, that'd be kind of nice. It's not too far off on the horizon. But anyway, that's it. So find me anywhere you want to find me, and fucking go Horseman. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Saddle up, fellas.
That's my man right there.
Saddle up.
That's right. Saddle up. Let's get going. And there's T-shirts available now. There's 3 separate designs for the Horseman. You can find it on the Schmoes No T-Public website. Go buy shirts. Apparently, we broke the record for the amount of shirts sold in one day. Of release. Like when the new shirts were released that day, we broke the record for the amount that can be sold. No surprise. People love the Horseman. They're now 100% behind it. It's incredible to see the reaction. Thanks for all the incredible art, the fan art that the Horseman stuff inspired, and for the people who make the compilations of the reactions. That was so awesome. Albert,
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, Albert Werdama. I'm sorry if I'm not saying the right correctly, but it was so great to have you guys do that. So thanks so much for the support. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at the Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And keep telling people about the show. We are growing and growing and growing, so we'd like you to keep helping us grow and more. I think the show's in a great spot right now to get even more listeners to come on board. So please do that. Don't forget to do that and rate and subscribe and give us some stars. Anything else?
Yeah, no, please just tell one friend.
Yeah.
Anybody that you know that digs movies or just likes listening to two assholes talk. please let them know.
Yes.
But, we have a huge fan base, and you guys are awesome. And every time we have a guest on, you're more than happy to reach out to them, let them know. And we appreciate that because it also helps us with getting other guests in the future.
Yeah.
Just word gets around that you guys are so amazing. And you're doing all the heavy lifting for us. We just show up and talk. So we appreciate the fact that you guys are tuning in. You're so positive. You're so amazing. And that's it from me. My name is Matt Knost. Thanks for listening.
There we go. And I'm John Rocha. We'll talk to you all next week on the Top 10 Show.